This is a rhythm that in belly dance you can encounter if you have a emergency, longer intro dance where the rhythms change. One of these rhythms might be Zar Ayub. What also may happen is that this rhythm comes in a drum solo up. Comes up in a drum solo. That's my mixed up grammar for you. Hi Vanessa, and that means it's always good to be prepared to at least have a couple of moves and having a few ideas on how to start researching them, on how to start moving with them if you get surprised by them. That's my goal for this series. So we'll do warm up for the whole body, upper body a little bit extra, then we'll move into neck and head, because if you're like me, you might have been doing a lot of administration work or just static movements, and then going from 0 to 100, that's maybe not good. So you have a few warm-up exercises to free up this area, which is for dancers always good. I have my hair open because the movements that Zar is very known for are when the dancer moves freely and the hair kind of flies on its own. But that's also something that I hopefully with this session can help with, is how to make these movements look free and feel open without you flinging your head from your neck, because you see the hair moving, but it's actually not the hair that's moving. It's not even the head that's moving. It's not even the neck that's moving. It's more the rib cage, upper body, connected to the back, connected to the hips, connected to the floor. So it's the whole body. Like with Taekwondo, if you do a punch, the punch comes from the feet. You use rotational force of your body. So we'll also geek a bit on movement, how to make this most efficient. Yes, okay, very good. Samai, one of my favorite rhythms. Sliding the hips and then roll the shoulders. Side, side, roll, roll, roll. Side, hello, side. 1, 2, 3. Now start here. 1, 2, 3. Roll, roll. 1, 2, 3. Again, 2 more. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Now hips down, down. 1, 2, 3. And reach, reach. 1, 2, 3. Reach, reach. Let's leave the hands up. I'll go back so you can see what's happening. Pulling, pulling, small. Pull, pull. 1, 2, 3. Pull, pull. 1, 2, 3. And one more. Now we'll close the body. I imagine this is a book, the two covers. They meet and my chin lifts. My boosties know this. And I open. Stretch in the front. Roll the elbows front. Chin up. Chin down. As you stretch out. Lengthen the abs. Lengthen the back. And close the elbows. 2 more. Open. Shoulders roll back. Chin down and relax. Now shake everything out. And a little plie on the 3. 1, 2, plie. So I'm doing a shoulder shimmy with shaking out the hands. Now shake out the head as well. And one more. Final move. Let's rotate. My legs are turned out a little. Look over the shoulders. Lengthen. And the arms move freely. They will hit your hips. 1. Looking over the shoulder. Look as far as you can. Now bring the arms up, up, stay. Up, up, 1, 2, stay, and last one. Shoulder rolls, last movement. I know I said the previous one was last, but I have a bit more time. Back, back, 1, 2, 3, and front, front, 1, 2, 3. Yes. So it's a rhythm that's actually not, it's not created to dance per se, but you often have it pop up because it is fun to dance to anyway, but the origins are more personal, cultural. So the Zaar rhythm is a rhythm that has been used in the past for ritual. So it's more a ritual for getting rid of bad energy. Yes, so it's like a moving meditation. So it's not really something that was designed for the stage. But however, in Oriental dance, we use elements of folklore and we use elements of culture, and we bring it to the stage in the form of dance. So what you see on stage is not the original form, but it is like a nod, a wink to the original form. So what we do today is more the dance form of it. But if you want to dive deeper into Zaar rituals, you certainly can, and I would recommend to do that. Yes, 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 yes. So what we will do today is listen to the rhythm. Let me find it for you. And the CD that I use for this series, because it has it has many rhythms, is Leila Giovanna and Roland's rhythms and drums. And this is nice because it has the rhythms clean, just the rhythms, so you can clearly hear it if it's new to you, but it also has it built into a kind of drum solo-ish thing, so you easily recognize it if there's other things played. So let's listen to it for a while. It's short if you step on it. 2 steps before it repeats. 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's why it's called a 2-4 rhythm. Or 4-2. Step, step. And what happens in Zaar ritual is that it speeds up gradually. Yes. So you can drum it if you're a drummer. And it will go from slow gradually to faster, and then it goes pretty crazy in the end. And in drum solos, that's the sequence also. Doom, ka-doom, tech, doom, ka-doom, tech, doom, ka-doom, tech. If you would bounce to it a little, you will feel the speed or the tempo of the rhythm. And that's what I usually recommend. If a rhythm changes, to just groove with it for a couple of counts, to change your biomechanics and to adapt your mood to the rhythm. So let's do that together. Now you can feel the picking up because you're bouncing. Doom, ka-doom, tech, doom. I will let the full song run. It's 1 more minute while I talk. Do this with me to warm up also your legs. And then sway side to side. So if you know nothing, if you're not sure what to do, bounce to the rhythm, breathe, relax, sway, and feel the tempo. Then at least you're with the music. And you can go side to side. What I do is I tilt the rib cage and I breathe. It's like a figure 8 with my heart. If my boosties know this one. Or you can go on the rhythm. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So it's not shoulders, it's hips and heart. And if you want to circle your head, but you don't want to do head banging, do this. You bounce and you relax and you move the rib cage in a circle, but slower than the rhythm. 1, 2. So it's boom, ka-doom, tech, 2, ka-doom, tech, 3, ka-doom, tech, 4. Let's change. Ka-doom. And it's also a warm-up, yes? 3, 4, 1, ka-dum, tak, doom, ka-dum, tak, 3, ka-dum, tak, change, and 1, ka-dum, tak, 2, ka-dum, tak, 3, ka-dum, tak, 4, change, 1. So I'm tilting from the rib cage, change, 1, 2, 3, 4, change, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go double. You speed it up yourself, but you don't have to do a circle per rhythm. That's my main message for this exercise. So you can groove with the rhythm, you can be on the beat, you can be with the flow, but you don't have to be on the beat, you don't have to be on the tempo. You can slow down the tempo as a dancer, still gradually speed up, but the slower you start, and that's my advice, the more leeway you have to catch the speeding up of the rhythm, but to decide for yourself how fast you want it to be. And this can be very interesting for the audience and very relaxing for you to do. Now, before we go any faster, before we do true circles and figure eights, that's the two movements I want to give to you today, let's free up this area. And the way we do this in Boost, and also I've made a video for you to relax the upper body. It's in my Fit with Khalida group. I will send a link to you so you can do that. It's half an hour, so if you feel any tightness after that, you will feel completely open and free, and then you can repeat any movements here that you today maybe feel a bit too tight for. So first thing I like to do is rub your hands to warm them up, and then you rub here, up and down, and behind your neck, up, and here you go up and down along this line that connects the back of the ear to your clavicle. There's a big muscle here that can get a bit tight if you don't move your head a lot. So you rub and you move, and this should feel really nice, yes. Then the area here where the clavicle meets this part, and on top, you give yourself gentle karate chops there to wake everything up. Other side the same. And this you can do backstage, before dancing, if upper body gets tight, and then you roll, you move your head and you move your shoulders, and it should give you a bit of a tingly feeling. So that's one quick thing you can do. Second is check the movements of your head, your skull, compared to your neck. I like to pull up behind the ears and then slide the head forward a little bit. So not the neck, the head. Do you see what I mean? Yes, so I pull up to lift, to lengthen, to make space between the vertebrae, and then, this is also good for pictures by the way, to avoid this when you pull up, you slide the skull to the front a tiny bit. Yes, it frees up this area. From there, the tip of your nose, you move it up and down, the smallest movement possible, then you gradually make it bigger. This is in the Fit with Khalida video, by the way, but I want to give it to you here. Then you can move more freely as when you would go full on right away, and then you make it small again. Same thing to the side. First, very small, then medium, and then you will notice you will have more freedom than if you would go left and right away. Same thing to the side. Let's test for side to side. Go side and test. Go side and test. No forcing, just feeling. Then, wait, let me give you a bit more side light so I don't go dark when I turn my head. So like this, and like this, you test. Now, center, lengthen, slide a bit to the front, but not the neck. From here, tilt the smallest, like you're a waggly head doll. Small as possible, then medium, then try again, and it should free up a little. Does this work? Let me know if this works. But for most people, it's still a bit tight the sideways. So what I like to do is use my hand for resistance, press with my head against it. It's good for office breaks also, which some of you are on. Press with your head against your hand. Inhale and hold. Exhale, relax, and then try again. And it might free up really a couple of centimeters. Other side, see the difference for me? Yes. So lengthen, slide a bit to the front. Ballerinas also do this, by the way, to have more freedom here. Only as far as feels comfortable. Hand presses there, head against it. Hold it for a couple of seconds with breathing. Then you inhale. You hold. Smile. You exhale. And you test, and you should now be a bit more even. And yes, always do this kind of thing before any head movements, because you don't want to have the tightness in your practice. You want to have the freedom in your practice. And now if you move, this should be less troublesome. Yes. Another thing to help you free up this area is to focus on this part, rolling this open, sliding your chest out to the front. If you want to look up in your dancing, doing that from here will crunch. But if you roll open and slide to the front, it's easier to lengthen and lift. Can you feel that? Also for our veil, veil work, in Boost we work with this for the upper body, so you will recognize this. So try this, try it for fun, only small, don't hurt yourself. Looking up with the chest in. And you will feel like that's not so nice, yes? Now the opposite, roll open here, slide to the front, and look up, and you might even feel a stretch now, because you're lengthening, and that's very, very important. If you do any hair tosses, which come from the upper body, the end position is not like that. The end position is with the chest sliding to the front. So you open and lengthen here. And another tip, if you do anything with the head to the front and you come up, you don't have to have your chin back. Yes, if you have enough momentum and you slide the chest to the front, you could do, let me demo, you could do, I'm sliding my hips back even to make this even more zigzag, so hips back, chest front, that's the end position but also the start position. I lengthen even more, my hips sink back, you can see them move back here. I don't even have to go beyond 90 degrees, I just lengthen and I'm not even bending, I'm lengthening and I'm looking diagonally to the floor. From here, I will bend my knees and I will throw my chest to the front. So from here, chest front, and as you can see, I only go to here, but my hair goes back. Even when I had long hair and not fringe pony, it works. Test it out, test it out. So front, lengthen, hips back, chest. You relax your head for a moment, and you think exhalation, chest, boom, to the front. And this will feel free. You're not throwing your hair back. You're going from here, I relax for a moment, to straight. And then you can keep on dancing. You don't have to recenter, you don't have to rebalance. You're just here and you're present and you can, bam, you can look straight in the audience's eye and dance. And I've seen this done on Ayub Rhythm when it starts really slow and really heavy. There's a cute drum solo that has this boom, tack. That only has the boom, gadoom, tack, only the doom and the tack. So there's a dramatic doom, and then tack, you're back. So this can be staccato, but it doesn't mean you have to force your body. You just use this lengthening to the front. Yes, so that's one tip. If you have any hair flips up, you don't need to go back. All you need to do is have the chest out in front and some kind of facial expression for that. So another thing that is very nice for Ayub Rhythm is the slow head circles. Slow head circles. And you can do these on the floor if you get dizzy easily. And I used to get dizzy very much. So if I had a drum solo that had the opportunity, I just practiced my level changes to come down on my knees gently. And I did this part, the Ayub Zar part, on my knees on the floor so I couldn't fall or lose my balance. So if that feels safer for you, grab your yoga mat and do the figure eights and circles that we do now, seated on the floor, and use your hands for support until you feel that you are rebalanced. So you practice it like that. You can do it also standing. Just make sure there's nothing sharp around you. Clear your environment, safety first. So if you want to do head circles slowly, the slower you go, the bigger the movement can be. The faster it goes, the smaller the movement becomes. But it is still, it's this, the rib cage moving, the spine giving way, and the weight in the feet helping you. So if I have my legs stiff, try that. Stiffen up your legs, squeeze the glutes, make everything stable, and it will feel a bit awkward, yes? Now, relax, and then turn your rib cage. So what I do is, I lift the back, and you see my abs contract a bit. When I lift the back of my rib cage, this turns on. And it's a small tilt, but I'm not bending. So I'm lifting, and this goes slightly to the front. If I lift the side, you can see this turning on. My abs are finally visible, thanks to Fit with Khalida. So you can see what's going on, yes? If I come back, what I do is I inhale and I lift over. So it's side, front, side, breathe. And if you hold your breath, your diaphragm is stuck. So holding your breath, trying to do this, as you can see, it looks awkward. My hair moves more like that. And if I breathe, almost by accident, my head will also relax. So that's it. You lift, you feel the weight in your feet going from the side of one foot to the balls of the feet, to the side of the foot, and you center. Side, balls, side, center. And you let your knees soften. If you do that, and you also lift and lean and exhale around, it's like you will come around automatically. Can you feel that? So I'm lifting, I'm tilting the rib cage, shift away to the side, and then I let it flow through the feet. I am breathing all the time. I'm just not holding the breath. So you feel how it's natural for you. You can simply breathe over it, as long as you don't hold the breath. That's the main point. Good question. Other side the same. So I let the air flow. I focus on bringing the weight into the balls of the feet and then picking it up again. And what I do here is I lift and I relax to the front. I lift and I relax to the front. I lift, I relax, but I don't bend. I relax this part. Yes. Now adding the head, what you would do is relaxing. It's hard to say it and do it at the same time. So what I do is I let the rib cage lead, and then my head comes a bit later. And then I go around. You see what I mean? If I do it slow, of course my hair will fall. But if you do it continuously, you just don't mind the hair. It's okay if it's a bit wild, okay? Other side the same. And if you're seated on the floor, what will happen is, and I advise this also, to be a bit out in front. Because if you're here, you might lose your balance when you come up. If you start here, you will have a circle going that way. And also you will have more effect. So if you're up here, the hair will fall. If you are sliding the hips back and the chest is out in front, it will be more like a circle. So that's what you want. The more you bend, the more easy it will be to make a circle with the hair. But it's still the rib cage and it's still the feet. Let me see if I can try. What you can do, if you don't know what to do with the hands, by the way, a very nice position is to have one hand a bit out and one hand holding you, and that's the direction that you move. And if you want to practice it, practice only 1, 2, or 3 circles, and then you come up and recenter also, so you don't get too dizzy. Thank you. Other side the same, and it's perfectly natural that one side is a bit more comfortable than the other, because we all have movement habits that reinforce one side versus the other. If you know it, you can train your body to center a bit. And you can use whatever ways you have for that. But for now, just be aware that it's normal if it feels a bit awkward on one side. That's just your body being used to the other side more. Okay, so here, posture is everything. As with all of my classes, how you position your body can make it easier or more difficult to do certain movements. So that's why I go slow. Go back here, chest out in front, so you have the freedom. It's a lot of information, I know, but it will hopefully make it easier. Think of the weight traveling, think of the rib cage traveling, and then all you need to do extra is relax the head, relax the head, relax the head, and there you go. Yes, does this make sense? I don't want to do too much so you don't fall over and miss the rest of class, but that's the gist of it. That's the secret. 4 circles, having the chest out in front, having the hips back, softening the knees and feeling the feet, not holding your breath and relaxing with it. And if it starts to feel smooth, you can circle faster. There is a bit of head movement involved, but it's not this stays and the head does that. It is the crown of your head making a tiny circle. So that's all that would be moving. And it's within the range, well within the range that your neck has. So it's not the neck doing the pathway of the hair. It is like a whip. Your body moves like that. And on top you do a little bit extra with the head. And then the hair, bless it, will do the work for you. So that's how it works. Now, the figure 8, and that's one I get asked about a lot, is easier than it may seem, and for me it's even easier than the circles. It does make sense. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, it's my goal to hopefully demystify some of these movements and make them accessible. And that's also my goal for my Boost classes. The online classes that I teach on Monday, Tuesday and Friday are to make movement possible, to make movement accessible, and to make improvements feel easy, just by giving you what has worked for me in bite-sized classes. So on Monday we work on strengthening and evening out unevenness, and hopefully also activating parts that weren't maybe working. On Tuesdays we do relaxation, so everything is free, and on Friday we apply it to dance. And these sessions are like a compressed version of Boost. So if you are curious about it, there are 2 spots available right now for Boost shimmies, and that's 3 months of shimmies, 1 month standing shimmies, 1 month traveling shimmies, and 1 month special shimmies and layering. And my Boosties are here. They will tell you, if you have any questions, how it works. But it's a beautiful community. You will have a bit of structure in your week, and you can always watch the classes afterwards if you miss them. So there's no risk involved. Yes, so 2 spots, and if you use the link in the description, today you will get 20% discount, because I'm feeling like sharing. Okay, that's it. That's for shimmies. But for this movement, for the figure 8, it's about moving from the heart. As we did in the warm-up, it involves your obliques. If you imagine them crossing over here, they have to shorten and lengthen in order for this to shorten and lengthen. So if you grab yourself on the side and you tilt your rib cage, you might feel, digging with the fingers, you might feel something working there, yes? And if you twist, also the obliques have to lengthen if you twist. So working out your obliques and stretching them will give you a bit more control in this area. It's like twisting the hips, but you do it with the upper body. So 2 movements you need: sideways, twisting the upper body, and then tilting of the rib cage, what we also used for the circle. So what we're going to do is half a circle and up, half a circle and up, half a circle and up, half a circle and up. That's the figure 8. So the rib cage is the motor of this, but the feet actually is where you would feel it. If you soften the knees again, same technique as for the circle. You lift everything, also the back. The half circle would be bending and having the weight here, relaxing here, then coming to the front, but the top is the rib cage, it's not the back, yes? So it's here, I roll I roll my rib cage. I bend the knees. I look to the front. And then I straighten the knees to give me a little lift. So it's hop. Watch my knees, don't watch my head. Hop. 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 So it's 2 knees. The movement will become smaller and smoother if you speed it up. But if you want to practice it, this is me doing a figure 8. I bend and hop. Bend and hop. And even if I hop, I don't have to straighten all the way for those who are tending to hyperextend. I use my pelvis and I slide it back a bit. So even if I overextend, it will not disturb me. It will not bring me out of balance. So using the pelvis, tilting it back a bit so it's even, sliding it back a bit as if I'm water skiing. That's my end position. And again, chest will be out. Out because I'm coming up. Same technique. So I lift. I relax to the side. I bend the knees and I come up. Relax, knees. Relax, knees. Relax, knees. And every time I repeat, I lift my full rib cage and I tilt by lifting more here. If I only relax down, it'll become smaller and smaller. So I want to lift, lift, reset, lift, reset, lift, reset. Other side the same. I lift, lift more, bend the knees, reset, lift, reset, lift, reset, lift, reset. So as you can see, I'm not even yet using my neck, but we will have a little sideways tilt, but it's the rib cage going first and then we relax. So it's only this. The rib cage does the work and from there I relax a little. Then to the front the same. The rib cage goes first and I relax a little. Then the knees hop me up. And whew, I have so much force that the hair goes really back. You don't even need that if you do it continuously. But for slow, you will feel the power of the legs. So I'm lifting, lifting. Let me show you from the side. This is relaxed. I am still a bit sliding to the front. I'm still a bit sliding to the back with my hips. I relax. And then I relax my head a bit. And this is heavy, yes, you will feel the weight. Coming to the front, then I relax my chin a little, but I'm not putting my neck in front. I'm just dropping my chin a bit. Bend the knees, hop. Okay, let's try this. And if you don't know what to do with the arms, you can keep them around you. Or you can kind of re-grab the energy. That's what I like to see. Or you can have one hand out to the side. So let's try it. Side, hop. One side. Hop and hop. My knees. My knees do the work. Other side. Hop. Relax. Lift. Relax. Lift. Relax. Lift. Okay. Are you still with me? Let's try it both sides. And then you have it. Then you have my 3 basic movements. And we'll do a little mini combo so you have them to practice. So side, side. If you want to have transition, think of figure 8 with the weight in the left heel, right heel, or right, left. Weight in one heel, weight in the other heel. Weight in one heel, weight in the other heel. Use your arms to signify what's happening. Bending the knees, bending the knees. Your hair will go here, here. Rib cage, rib cage, rib cage, rib cage. And now all you do is relax the head a little and then you can give it a little floof with breathing. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let me know if this is helpful for you. I will put on the rhythm and then we will do a few combinations. So one would be just circling slowly that we did with bouncing. One will be a bit more energy. Then we try figure 8 slowly. And then one of my favorites is walking to the side and up, walking to the side, up. I'm showing with my hands what my head will do. I will do a slow circle and then up diagonal. A slow circle, up diagonal. And the diagonal up, good, good, good. Diagonal up is just me positioning my body diagonally. So it'll look like that, a loop. And this I love for drum solos. The doom, ka-doom, tek, doom, ka-doom, tek, doom, ka-doom, tek. It looks very active, but actually I'm only doing a slow circle and a switch. So let's do that together. Yeah. So all of these movements, as I said, let me show you also on the floor before I forget. You can do these on the floor, seated on your knees, and it can be really beautiful to do a Zar drum solo finale on the floor. If you check Jelina's drum solos, she has some very beautiful performances where she does Zar on the floor. And here, you can be down, here, you can be up, and you can play with the hair in interesting ways, slowly, also on the floor, because it just has a different energy on the floor. And that's how it is originally also performed in the rituals. It's seated. The dizziness, that's a very good question. So what I recommend is, first one, hydration. If you drink enough water, the fluid in your inner ear, which helps you balance and find your environment, that it will be more fluid. And if you are a little bit dehydrated, this doesn't work as well, and it's harder for your brain to recenter, and you will get dizzy more easily. Second is feeling the feet. If you ground the feet, also it feels more safe for your body, and that's also why you get a bit less dizzy on the floor. If you have a bit of connection to the floor, it's easier for your brain to figure out where you are. Another thing that helps is the eyes, and we didn't train them, but this also helps for relaxing the neck. If you train your eyes for peripheral vision, and don't close them when you do this, you keep your eyes open and you focus your vision right here. You focus your vision as far on the side as you can, and you imagine the room around you. And this is a trick I learned in a whirling class. If you know where you are, also it feels safer and it's less disorienting for you. Yes, if you have inner ear problems, this will make you super dizzy, so you just skip it and you do the slow ones. As long as you can move the upper body and groove with the music, it will be okay. And you can do every now and then a hair flip, or on the floor the very slow circle. So anything, you adapt it to you and it will always be beautiful. Yes, so water, eyes, training the eyes, feeling the feet, practicing. It's for me, if I have a performance with a lot of turns, I have to take 3 to 4 weeks and always practice until I am almost a bit nauseous. So I will get dizzy and rest, and I wait until I'm completely rested. I may have to do something else. I may not be able to dance for 15 minutes, so I do class preparations, and then I try it again. And then if it's too much, if I don't get out of the dizziness, I wait a day, and I build it up like that. And then after 3 weeks, it's enough for me to do the performance sequences. And sometimes in my Fanveil dances, it's a long turn. So that you take your time and you practice it also helps. Another thing that helps if you overdo it is ginger. If you eat ginger candy or the ginger leaves that you get for sushi, or ginger tea, or just raw ginger, it helps a bit against motion sickness. So that you won't feel as bad when you overdo it a little bit. So those things, yes. So those things help me a lot if you get dizzy.